Let's learn how to play Pharmacopia. To set up a regular game, each player gets a patient tracker card and 12 tracking cubes. Set all cubes to 0. Then, draw one patient card from the patient deck. The patient card will tell how each player should adjust their tracking cubes on the patient tracker. Everyone will have the same starting patient. Each player draws 7 cards from their 44 card base deck. During the game, played cards will be placed on the left side of your patient tracker and discarded cards on the right side. It is helpful to put the discarded cards face down to distinguish them from the played cards. Each player will take a turn in clockwise fashion, starting the first turn with whoever was asleep most recently. Each turn has 3 steps in sequence: play cards, discard, and refill. Players must play 2 to 3 treatment cards from their hand on their patient each turn, resolving the cards one at a time in the order played. Whenever a card is played, players must also discard another card from their hand into the discard pile. A quick word on resolving cards. To standardize player interactions, they resolve like this. A player chooses a card to play, they place it on their patient played card stack, and discard the card or cards in order to play it. Then, they resolve the effects of the card, typically an item from a section on the patient tracker and a number. Your deck is made up of treatment cards. Number on a treatment card indicates how many spaces a cube must move towards that condition. If the tracker cube is at 0, then the player needs to add to a section with no condition named, the controlling player must choose one direction and move the cube that many spaces. If such a card as Corpo Sabotage interrupts this, the card will not resolve, but will remain in the played card stack, and does count towards the minimum cards to play per turn, and will be counted for the cost at the end of the game. After the playing card step, players may discard any number of cards from their hand into their discard pile. Then, to refill, they draw cards from their deck until they have 7 in hand, or they run out of cards in their deck. Then pass turn to the next player. If any player draws their last card from the deck this turn, then that begins the last round of the game. In other words, the player who draws the last card of their deck, their next turn will be the last hand played of the game, after all other players have one last turn before that. In a rare case, a player has no cards or fewer than 2 cards in hand, then they cannot legally play any cards and proceed to discard and refill. Once the last hand is played, we move on to scoring. First, sum up all numbers occupied by cubes in each section on the patient tracker. Then, count the total cost of cards in the played card stack. Add 1 to the sum for every 10k spent. Remainders of cost are ignored. The combined sum of these two numbers is your treatment effectiveness. A lower number is better. The lowest treatment effectiveness wins. In addition to the regular game mode, there are 3 other modes provided with the base game. First, there's Hardcore Professional mode, where if any section at 5 would have 1 or more added to it or would be moved a space beyond 5 or more, the patient dies and the individual player loses the game. When calculating treatment effectiveness in Hardcore mode, you add 1 to the sum for every 5k spent on cards played on the patient, instead of every 10k. There's also Cooperative mode. In Cooperative mode, there is only 1 patient and 1 patient tracker for the entire group. All cards played apply to it. If any section at 5 would have 1 or more added to it, or would be moved to a space beyond 5, the patient dies and the group loses the game. Players are compelled to play exactly 3 cards during their turn, unless they have less than 6 cards in hand, in which case they must play as many as possible. Do not count the cost of the cards in the played card stack when scoring. The success or failure of the group's treatment is based on the final treatment effectiveness score. 0, a perfect score, excellent health. 1 to 11, effectively treated. 12 or more, you did it, but you're still fired. The last, and perhaps the silliest game mode, is the Stupor Soldier program. In this game mode, you race to hyperaccentuate physical flaws as beneficial abilities in this government-funded secret program. You do not count the cost of cards in the played card stacks when scoring. To determine the winner, whoever has the most cubes on 5 spaces on their patient wins, specifically on the number 5. When a cube is moved any amount beyond 5, it is reset to 0. For tiebreakers, add up the treatment effectiveness score on only the patient tracker card. The highest wins. Thanks for checking out Pharmacopia. We hope you enjoy it. This is our first game, and we appreciate all the support from our awesome community. There's more to come.